You are here. You feel it before you see it. The moment your foot touches the ground, there's a shift in the air, like someone just finished whispering and you arrived a second too late to catch what was said. It's quiet here. Not silent, quiet. The kind of quiet that carries weight. The wind doesn't blow unless you move. The trees do not rustle unless you listen. The sky is more suggestion than color, soft and diffused, as if dawn and dusk made a truce and refused to leave. You take a breath. The air is warm, heavy with green. Not just leaves and grass, but the scent of things that have always grown. The kind of green that hums low in the bones and makes you feel like maybe you've been here before, in another life or a dream you only half remembered upon waking. There is a path. Not a paved one, not stone or gravel, just flattened earth, soft and firm underfoot, marked with 100 footsteps before yours. Some big, some small, some like yours exactly, and some not quite human. You follow. The gate behind you doesn't close. There is no latch, no hinges, just an archway made of tree limbs and moss, as if the world you came from never quite existed in the first place. You feel no pull to go back, only forward. You pass between two trees twisted like dancers in a slow embrace. Their bark is smooth, pale, and dappled with golden spots that pulse faintly, like fireflies caught mid-blink. Between their roots lies a pool, no larger than a plate, filled with water so clear it reflects not just the stars but the skies. And yet it's daytime, or whatever passes for it here. You step carefully. The grass here whispers. It doesn't bend or rustle, it whispers. You can't make out the words. You're not supposed to. But they aren't meant to frighten. They're just remembering. To your left, a low stone wall crumbles beneath a mess of wildflowers. Pink, violet, blue, with petals like paper-thin silk. They bloom and wilt in rhythm with your steps. When you pause, so do they. When you breathe out, one of them folds gently in on itself like sleep. You wonder if the garden responds to you, or if it simply notices. A wooden sign hangs crooked near a fork in the path. It says nothing. Not in any language, not even in symbols. Still, you understand it. It's not a direction, it's a feeling. You follow the path. The trees grow taller, not broader, taller. They rise impossibly high, and their leaves sway like they're underwater. Shafts of gold filter down through the branches that weave together like stained glass, casting shifting shapes on the path ahead. You feel eyes watching, but not in fear, in welcome, like the garden is happy you returned, even if you never remember being here before. You stop at a small clearing where the earth opens up into a circle. There is a bench, carved from smooth pale wood worn down by time and rain and dreams. You sit. The moment you do, the wind moves. Only once. Just enough to let the leaves sing. A soft, distant harmony. No melody, no rhythm. Just voices of bark and breeze, older than anything you've ever heard. You close your eyes. Behind your eyelid, light pulses like sunlight through water. Shapes move. Not visions, not memories. Just impressions. A staircase that never ends. A bell tolling under the sea. A hallway filled with mirrors, all showing a version of you that forgot something important. You open your eyes. The garden hasn't changed, and yet it has. The air smells like honey now, and something sharp, like mint or citrus, but not quite either. You rise. The bench is already gone. In its place, a ring of mushrooms, pale blue and soft to the touch. One glows faintly as you pass, then dims again like a sigh. The path narrows. The plants grow stronger. A tree with bark like polished bone and leaves that hum when touched. A cluster of vines growing in midair, as if climbing an invisible ladder. A lily blooming out of solid stone, drinking sunlight that isn't there. You stop beside a stream. Its water runs uphill. You kneel. Dip your fingers in. It's cool, almost cold, but not unpleasant. When you pull your hand free, the water clings like silk. You wipe it away, but the scent of salt and rose petals remain. The stream sinks to itself. A language of small ripples and pebbles turned smooth by time. You listen, not for meeting, but for presence. The sound grounds you, remind you that this is real, even if only for now. Across the stream, a broken statue leans against a tree. It's missing a face. In its hands, it holds a book made of stone. The pages are blank, but if you stare long enough, the lines begin to form. Not letters, images. child watching snow fall through a glass dome. A woman lighting a candle with a tear on her fingertip. A fox curled beneath an eclipse, sleeping through the storm. You close the book. The statue lowers its arms. You walk on. The path narrows again, not from overgrowth, but from design. The trees curve inward here, their trunks arching just enough to create a tunnel. Their branches twist together above you, forming a ceiling of pale green and deep violet leaves. Some glowing faintly, pulsing with a rhythm you can't quite match to your heartbeat, but it's close. You move slower now, not out of fear, not even caution, but reverence. It feels like a place built to be quiet, not by rules, but by memory, as if too many voices might awaken something better left dreaming. A single drop of water lands on your shoulder. You look up. There's no rain. The leaves aren't wet. The air is still. Another drop. This time on your hand. You extend your palm. It begins to fall, slow and soft like a rain remembered, not experienced. Each drop lands without a sound. The earth doesn't darken. Your skin doesn't chill. It's as though the garden is weeping for something it can't name. You keep walking. Eventually the tunnel opens again, and the rain ends all at once. No tapering off, no final drop. Just dry air and stillness again. Ahead lies a gate. Not like the one you entered, though. This one is made of twisted brass and copper, with vines etched into every bar. It stands in the middle of the garden, unattached to any wall or fence. Behind it, the same path continues, but something has changed. You place your hand on the latch. It's warm, not with heat, but with life, as if a heartbeat pulses within the metal itself. You open it. The sound it makes is not a creak, not a groan. It's a chime. Soft, hollow, familiar. You step through. The gate closes behind you, not by force, not by wind, but as though it has completed a task. You don't look back. You don't need to. This part of the garden is different. The colors shift in a way you can't quite track. A flower is purple, until it isn't. The grass is green, until it flickers gold. Shapes move at the edge of your sight, not threatening, not trying to hide, just existing, as if this garden has grown beyond what the world can hold. You come to a bridge. It spans no river. Beneath it, nothing. A soft glow perhaps. Shapes maybe, but no land, no sky, just space. You step onto it. The wood is firm beneath your feet, ancient, dark, carved with spirals and stars and words you almost, but don't quite understand. Halfway across, you stop. There's a sound. Not a voice, not music. It's like someone humming from a great distance, low and slow, with no discernible tune. It carries with it a feeling, not sorrow, not joy, something older, something waiting. You cross. On the other side, the path winds upward, spiraling like a shell. To your left, a tree leans toward you. Hanging from one of its branches is a lantern, copper, dented, still lit. You take it without hesitation. The flame does not flicker, it casts no heat, but the world sharpens around it. Colors deepen, shadows retreat. You feel safer holding it. You walk on. The spiral tightens. The air grows still again. Not heavy, not stale, just still. The garden is holding its breath. You reach a plateau. It's a clearing, circular, surrounded by stone pillars, 12 in all. Each carved differently, as if each was shaped by a different hand, a different purpose. In the center, a pool. Shallow, still. No more than an inch deep, but wide enough to see the sky reflected perfectly. Only, the sky above you is blank, pale and colorless. But in the pool, stars, clouds, a moon, a sun that flickers like a candle behind silk. You kneel. The lantern's reflection does not appear, but yours does, and you are older, or younger, or perhaps just different. You reach into the water. You touch your reflection. It ripples. So does something inside your chest. You don't cry, but you feel as though you just stopped crying. The ache behind the eyes, the hollow in your throat, fading but still there. You rise. Each of the 12 pillars now glows faintly. One whispers your name. You don't respond. You don't need to. You understand now. This isn't a destination. It's a moment. a place between moments. You were not here to find something. You were here because something needed you to arrive. The wind returns, gently, like a sigh of relief. You turn from the pool, and the path is there again, new, but familiar. You follow the new path. The lantern remains in your hand, its lights unwavering, its flame as steady as your breath. The trees thin out here. They do not disappear, but the space themselves fall apart, as if giving you room, as if whatever comes next is meant to be seen clearly. The ground beneath your feet softens. The grass gives way to something finer. Petals, maybe, or threads of silk. They don't crush beneath your steps. They shift, rearrange, like the earth itself is accommodating your journey. Ahead, there is a structure. Not a building. Not quite. It looks like a shrine, but also a greenhouse. But also something older. Something that remembers when shrines and greenhouses didn't yet have names. Its frame is made of bone-white wood, tall and narrow, shaped like ribs that stretch upward to form a cage it doesn't enclose. Inside it, an orb suspended mid-air. A sphere of water. Perfect. Weightless. And in its center, a single leaf. It does not move, but you know, instinctively, it is alive. You step closer. The lantern's light bends toward the orb, as though drawn to it. You do not touch the water. You don't need to. The moment you stand before it, the leaf inside it begins to change color. Green to gold, gold to white, white to translucent, and then, slowly, it begins to spin. You feel something open inside your chest. Not a memory, not quite a feeling, more like a truth you've always carried but never noticed. You don't cry, but you could if you wanted to. The orb stops spinning. You bow your head, not because anyone told you to, not because you're being watched, but because it feels right. Because some things are sacred, even if no one remembers them anymore. You turn from the shrine. The path continues. You walk on. The trees here are pale pink, their bark like smooth coral. Their branches stretch sideways instead of up, forming bridges that connect tree to tree. Small lights flit between them, tiny, glowing creatures with wings made of stained glass. They do not notice you, or maybe they do, and choose to let you pass. The sky is darker now, not night, just deeper. The kind of sky you see right before a storm breaks over the ocean, cloudless, but charged. You smell salt now, in ozone, and something older still. Stone warmed by the sun, water left in a clay cup, the inside of a cave where no fire has ever burned. You walk on. You pass a tree with bells for leaves. Each step you take causes one time to gently ring. They do not echo. They simply ring and are gone. You pass a door standing on its own. No walls, no frame, just a door. It is open. You do not step through. You do not need to. You keep walking. A river appears. This one does not run uphill, but it does not move forward either. The current runs in a loop. The water flows around a stone, down a small fall, across a stream bed, and then reappears where it started in perfect rhythm. A bench sits below it, low, worn. You sit, not because you're tired, but because you feel that someone once waited here, and it's your turn now. Across the river, a single candle burns on a platform of stone. It does not flicker. The flame is blue. You feel warmth on your skin even from here. A soft wind moves to the clearing. You close your eyes. You listen. In the wind, there are words. Not spoken, not sung. They come to you like breath. You are here. You stayed seated for a long time. When you finally rise, the river is gone. The bench remains, but the candle has vanished. So is the platform. All that remains is a soft depression underground filled with white sand. You walk on. The air feels different. Not colder, not warmer. More awake, more aware. You reach a place that feels like the center. Not marked, not labeled, but unmistakable. A vast tree stands before you unlike the others. Taller, wider. Its trunk is black as ink, its bark shimmering in places like beetle shell or oil on water. Its branches stretch impossibly wide, disappearing into mist. Its roots pulse finely, like veins. Carved into the trunk of the spiral, not etched by hand, not crude, clean, deep, intentional. You step forward and press your palm to it. The moment you do, the world pauses. Not stops, just slows. The trees hold their breaths. The leaves still. The sky deepens. And you are filled with silence so complete it feels like music. And in that silence you understand. This garden was not planted, it was born. And it waited for you for a very long time. Not to save it, not to fix it, just to see it. To remember it exists. To be a witness. You lower your hand. The tree pulses once. You feel it in your chest, like a second heartbeat. And then the path opens again behind you. New, but welcoming. You walk on. The path behind you narrows again, slowly fading into overgrowth. It doesn't disappear, it simply no longer needs to be followed. Ahead, the trees open to a wide glade filled with light that has no source. There is no sun here, no sky you can see, but everything is illuminated. The grass glows slowly. The air itself seems to shimmer with potential. You walk carefully, reverently, as though this place remembers every step ever taken inside it. At the far end of the glade is a small pavilion made of stone and silence. No roof, no walls, just pillars of smooth white marble standing in a circle. Within it sits a pedestal. On that pedestal, a mirror, but it reflects nothing. You step closer, not quickly, not slowly. You move like someone who knows they are near something that won't be able to return from, something that won't hurt you, but will change you all the same. You stop before the mirror. Still, it shows nothing. Not your face, not your light, not the garden, just stillness. Endless, silent stillness. You reach out. Your fingers hover an inch from its surface. You feel warmth, but not from a mirror, from within yourself. A memory rises, uninvited, one you thought long gone. A voice, a laugh, a smell, a room. The way the wind once felt against your skin when you were very small and believed in everything. The mirror begins to glow. It doesn't show you your reflection. It shows you your presence, the shape of your being. Not what you look like, but what you are. A constellation, a rhythm, a tether. You realize that the garden doesn't just exist around you. It exists through you. It always has. You step back from the pedestal. The glow fades. The mirror returns to stillness. The warmth remains. You leave the pavilion. You do not look back. There is no need. The garden has already etched this place into you. You walk through a groove of lantern trees. Each one holds a soft flame, swaying gently through, though there is no wind. Each flame is a memory, some yours, some not. You don't need to know which it is. The light your way without asking anything in return. At the edge of the grove is a field of feathers, not fallen from birds, but growing from the soil itself. Tall, soft stalks crowned with silver and white. They sway as you pass, brushing your fingertips, parting like a gentle curtain. Behind them is a final path, straight, quiet, familiar. At its end, the same arch of tree limbs and moss you first passed through, the beginning, and the ending. You reach it. You do not step through, not yet. You turn. You look back one last time. The garden is vast, still growing, still dreaming. It has not vanished. It will not vanish. It lives now in you. You turn back to the archway. There is a sound, soft and distant, like a bell rung underwater, like a memory being remembered by someone else. You pass beneath the arch. The moment you do, the air changes. A breeze moves through your hair. The smell of grass fades. The colors dull, but the warmth in your chest remains. You are not lost. You are not waking. You are simply returning to wherever it is you go when you are no longer here. And even when you forget, the garden will not. You are here. You are always here. You always will be.